Good evening. This is John Bailey, and this is People to Be Heard, the program where people who have something to say have their say. And tonight, you've got Jeremy Quinn, Artistic Director for the last 7 years of the White Plains Performing Arts Center, and he is with us to discuss his upcoming production of Tarzan, which premieres in December. It is a remake of the Disney movie, and also discuss a little bit where the White Plains Performing Center is at. We understand you're at a really good place right now after 7 years of your creative management.
Well, it's been very interesting. We've gotten to a place financially that is better than we've ever been in before, which is very encouraging. It's a good catapult towards what we're going to be doing towards in the future. We're 11 years, 12 years old now, so it's like the next decade of our existence, and it's very, very exciting to come from a place where we're just doing better. We're doing better financially. We're doing better as an institution. We survived the recession.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah,
it was a tough time.
It was a very tough time.
Of course, for the entertainers.
Of course it is, because entertainment's a luxury item, and people are starting to. I think it comes in waves. I think people batten down the hatches, and tighten their purse strings, and they get through it. And I think it's the economy's doing better. And I heard that the joblessness has gone way down, and New York City is working again, and people just seem to be doing better. So when the economy is doing better, and when society is doing better financially, of course, the arts do better, because people need that outlet. They want that live performance outlet, and we're giving them something that Netflix doesn't.
Right, live entertainment.
Live entertainment, which is very different.
Oh, it most certainly is, and I think the thing you had mentioned earlier, that there's a rumor that you eliminated your debt.
There is a rumor that we have eliminated the debt that we've been carrying for a very long time, because of past administrations, and it comes down to budgeting smartly and producing shows people want to see.
Also, you developed relationships with the Conservancy, and you have the theater workshops. They have contributed to your general cash flow.
Absolutely. We believe very strongly in diversifying our portfolio, if you will, in so much as programming is concerned. There's a lot of emphasis placed on family programming. There's a lot of emphasis placed on the conservatory and the training that we do in the conservatory and the shows we do in the conservatory. And our main stage shows are, we pick them very, very carefully. We want to present things that audiences want to see. And we're rebuilding at this point where, we'll do maybe 2 larger shows a year and then 3 smaller shows a year, until we can build up and do 3 large shows a year. It takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of patience, which sometimes I don't have, because I want to be fabulous and do it all at once. But it takes some patience to say, okay, this year we're going to do 2 larger shows and 3 smaller shows, and pick shows that people want to see, or pick shows that are interesting enough, and introduce them to the market.
So why did you pick Tarzan?
Well, mainly because it's a Disney show, and Disney shows do very well because people trust Disney. They trust the brand. They know the show. They've seen the movie. Last year we had a very successful run of The Little Mermaid, and we thought to ourselves, well, what we really should do is follow up with another Disney title. And we looked through all the Disney titles and settled on Tarzan because it hadn't been done in Westchester. No one's done Tarzan. And we tend to gravitate towards the shows that nobody else has done, simply because why copy what someone else has done? For example, they did Mary Poppins at Westchester Broadway Dinner Theater. why are we going to do Mary Poppins? They just did it, you know what I mean? They also did Mary Poppins at Stepinac High School. So why are we going to do that? That's why we settled on Tarzan. Not to mention the fact that, and this has been said to me a couple times, someone has said to me, well, you picked the Disney shows that flopped on Broadway. And I say, no, it's not that they flop necessarily, but they ask me why do we gravitate towards those shows? And the answer, quite honestly, is perhaps the show was meant to be at a smaller venue. Perhaps there's something about the story that didn't get communicated because it was a Broadway show.
Tarzan was a character from the 30s, 40s, and early 50s, and there's a generation, 2 generations of kids since then who aren't familiar with the Tarzan movie.
Correct, absolutely. And it's a beautiful, beautiful story. And quite honestly, the story focuses on not judging people by the cover, you know, not judging a book by its cover. In other words, not judging people for who they are, or what they look like, more so, judging them for who they are. And it's about, I think it's about, it's very much about family, and how family is made up of people that you wouldn't normally expect to be together as a family. You know, the family that gets created with Tarzan isn't biological, and yet it's still a family.
Yes, in fact, the actors who play Tarzan's gorilla mother and gorilla dad, who you interview later in the show, bring out this sensitivity, which probably which we could use a little more of today.
Absolutely,
frankly.
absolutely.
And, yeah.
Well, and it's just as I'm talking to you about it, I'm thinking to myself, you know, really, it's these days. There's a lot of emphasis in our society about what makes up a family and the definition of family. And honestly, the definition of family is whatever you want it to be, you know, versus what we've been sort of told over and over and over, that it's a biological thing and whatnot. It doesn't have to be. It just doesn't, you know. And with more and more wonderful kids being adopted by parents and foster families and things like that, it's like your family is created from the people that you choose to be around.
And what are the big songs in this show?
You'll Be in My Heart is a huge song. I think it won the Academy Award, actually. And I should say that too. The score was written by Phil Collins, rock legend Phil Collins, who's an Academy Award winner, a Grammy Award winner, a Golden Globe Award winner, and a rock legend. You know,
stuff.
It's good. Yeah, it's good stuff. And the book was written by Tony Award-winning playwright David Henry Wang. So it's got some pedigree to it. You know, it really does.
And that is a full 2-hour show.
It is.
Without the intermission.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And it's you promote it as from ages 4 to adult.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so you feel this relates to adults. They will enjoy
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there's something very poignant in the relationship between the ape parents and Tarzan. There's something the romantic story between Tarzan and Jane is very poignant and beautiful. And you know, for a lot of people, watching Tarzan fly about the stage in a loincloth, it might be very appealing.
True. And we will be meeting Tarzan perhaps later in the month, and we'll see. We have Tarzan physique here.
We do.
This is good.
We do. I have to admit, when we were auditioning for the show, because Tarzan is in a loincloth for 98% of the show, everybody who was called back for the role was instructed to remove their shirts and wear tight-fitting clothing, because we need to see what their body looks like. You know, we need to see that they have the Tarzan physique. And the gentleman who is playing Tarzan has an amazing physique.
And the gentleman is?
And his name is Chris Stevens. And he's all-American looking guy, you know. And
is he growing his hair for the show?
no, he actually is going to have a wig, an appropriate Tarzan wig, but he will be wearing a loincloth. And he assured me he was hitting the gym extra hard, and so it's. Yeah, that's interesting.
It can't hurt hitting the gym.
No, not at all.
Preparing for a Tarzan or whatever.
Absolutely. Also, too, simply because of just body conditioning in itself.
And he swings on vines. You actually have vines on this.
Yeah, we will have 4 dead hung vines that all the monkeys will fly and swing on. And also we have 2 flying tracks where a number of people will be flying in the show on those 2 tracks. Tarzan will fly on that. The leopard will fly. Jane will fly. We have butterflies that are going to be in the show and flying about. So there's a lot of flying in the show.
And Jane, is she a very liberated woman, or is she...
The actress?
Yes. No, the character. How's it played?
Interesting. The character of Jane actually is a very strong female prototype. I'd like to say, she's a very strong female character. It's turn of the century, so it's very much.
But the fact that she's in the jungle going on safari.
Exactly. And she's a scientist.
An adventurous.
Exactly. She's a scientist, and she follows her father and the expedition team to Africa, and
it's a great story.
We're looking at putting on our stage shows that were very, very popular off-Broadway, but perhaps didn't make it to Broadway.
Okay.
But they're great shows, and they're funny, and they're poignant, and they're just shows that, for example, I want to say there's certain shows like Little Shop of Horrors, for example. Little Shop of Horrors, it did very well. It was our conservatory that did it, and it did really, really, really well. But that show ran off Broadway for years before it ever had a Broadway run.
I know. I used to see those little squib ads for it at times.
But that just shows you that a show of that quality that doesn't necessarily make it to Broadway. And that there's something to be said for that. So we're exploring other titles that are similar to that.
And you're also having more stellar singular artist performances. You've got this great pianist coming in.
Jim Brickman is coming,
And you've got another first great performer of the past.
Robert Klein.
Yes,
yeah, Robert Klein is coming.
Always funny.
Always funny. And we also have Kevin Meaney. Kevin Meaney is coming in a show, a dual-person show. Kevin Meaney and Julia Scotti are doing a show.
How are the people from White Plains supporting the theater?
I think, to my knowledge, that a lot of people are donating to the theater. We always have a Kickstarter.
Donations are up?
Donations are up.
Good.
We have a Kickstarter campaign where when people buy tickets, they can make a donation online at the same time, which is really effective, and we're very, very fortunate. All the time I see people donating $5, $10, along with their ticket order, and it's a wonderful way to support the theater.
Really?
It's a no-brainer, it's easy to do, and it's an extra $5, $10 here, $5 there, and it adds up. But it's a commitment from our patron base to say, we want you here. We want you to do well. We want to help the arts. We're giving what we can. And it's a nice way to do it. I think it's great. And I want to say thank you to all the people who donate via our Kickstarter program when they buy tickets, because it's that little bit that helps, and they need to be thanked.
Flat out. How are we doing this year?
Well, I was told recently that we are doing better financially this year at this point in time than we were doing last year at this point in time.
Yeah. Do you be seeking other investors in the future?
It would be great. It would be awesome. We're always open to people interested in either investing in the theater or sponsoring the theater. That's a big deal. That's something that I'm actually glad that we're talking about this, because we have sponsorship available on so many different levels. People can sponsor a show, they can sponsor a conservatory kid, they can sponsor an entire season, they can sponsor the green room, the lobby, the box office. We can give them naming rights. for a certain amount of money. You know, we're very open to that kind of sponsorship, and sponsorship at any level. You know, for any
Just come to you with an idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. And certain times, like for example, you know, certain shows make sense to sponsor. If, say, for example, we were looking for a sponsor for Tarzan, maybe there's another nonprofit that would like to be a sponsor on the show and buy a block of tickets and then sell those tickets to raise money for their nonprofit.
And now, this is John Bailey. I'm with the gorilla father and the gorilla mother in Tarzan, the White Plains Performing Arts Center production. And Jennifer Theriault is the mother of the young Tarzan, and she plays Calla, and she comes to us from New Orleans and also Maryland. We were a military family growing up, and the man who plays Kerchak, the gorilla father in the Tarzan's first family, is Corey Blassie, who comes to us from New York, right? And Michigan.
Right, by way of Michigan.
By way of Michigan.
Right.
Well, it seems everybody is from Michigan. Isn't it?
They are, they do the hand thing.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so tell us about the unique dynamic of the mother and father gorilla family that defines ours. Jennifer, you want to start?
Yes, well, as we know, I am his mother, but I'm a gorilla, he's a human. I find him in the beginning as a baby, and I lose my son, so I'm almost replacing this human baby, you know, from my son that I lost. And it's just an interesting dynamic because he's different, but I'm accepting him into my family. And it's a beautiful story, you know, I just take him in.
And we understand that kids really relate to you.
Yeah, they definitely do. You know, as you grow up with your kid, when you're different and you have issues with that, it's really hard to come around to, you know. But Tarzan, he's very different. He's trying to figure out how to come into his own. Paula is there to help him with that and say, you know, even though you're different, I still love you, it's okay, and we're still one, and all of that.
And Corey, who plays Kerchak, you have a different attitude towards this stranger.
Yes.
Mom has picked up.
Well, in the beginning, a lot is happening, and I think for Calla, she needs that nurture right away, and she's not getting essentially from Kerchak, because he's also taking care of the family, the tribe, and making sure we have someplace to go and things to eat. So when he does get to notice, first she's been gone, so he doesn't notice she's not there yet. And when she first sees her, she has this thing. That's, how dare you try to replace my son? Like, that's my son you're trying to replace. And so that's their fight and feud. And I think he comes to love Tarzan, but because of the beginning, he could never show that he loves Tarzan. And his word has to be first and the strongest for everything, and he can't go back on his word.
Right. And that is an interest. Do you feel this comes across to young audiences?
Yeah, I think they'll understand it a lot, just because you have the mom, you have the dad. Dad's traditionally the one that's always the stern one and always saying no, and then the mom's that extra comfort and love, and any kid understands that.
Now, how you of course speak English without this.
Yes.
Right. And so it's perfectly understandable.
Right.
Exactly. You never know.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
We want to make it absolutely clear. Now, is there anything about you who are basically on stage throughout the whole first act?
Yes.
Right? And so you carry a lot of this action. What happens in the first act? It's the dynamic.
Well, I mean, it sets up everything that's going to happen, and it gives you the big fun numbers, and essentially that's when you see Tarzan grow up. Mm-hmm. Tarzan grows up through Act 1.
Mm-hmm. And the big numbers. What are some of the really great musical numbers in
Like we were talking earlier, Son of Man is like
it.
The audience is going crazy. The people on stage are having a blast. The chorus, they sound phenomenal.
Sound great. If you've seen the movie, Son of Man is the one, again, where Tarzan is growing up and he's going through his little troubles, you know, making little spears to catch the fruit, or, you know, so you can see him swinging through the vines. And that's one of
the rhythm and the beats, it just gets you and starts to take you away. And when you hear the chorus singing the song, you just kind of get lost in the music and just start enjoying yourself, and you're not realizing what you were doing.
It's an upbeat show. Phil Collins wrote the music.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so you don't know Phil Collins was a great
Right, with an actual, like, it's got a solid, like, African drum bass that follows the show. The light sounds like raining, heavy shows you anger, and in the music you hear the feeling. You can hear the way we feel.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about your role? Do you feel it's a challenge?
Probably a really big challenge, because he goes through so many emotions, like to balance his wife and to be the leader of a family and a group.
Facial.
Right, and to be sweet and caring and affectionate to his wife, but to not let anybody else see that.
They
don't really have
leader.
Right, they don't have the house where they can go home and be a loving couple and then go out in public and show that face.
Interesting.
They're always showing that face.
Okay. Well, listen. Thanks very much, and good break a leg with the show. Now, do you do any swinging on the vines in the show?
I am happy to be grounded.
Yes, they will be grounded.
Right.
Tarzan
I'll get as
can do
low
that.
as possible, and I'll handle that part.
Okay. Well, listen. Thank you, Miss Jennifer Terrio,
Yes.
who is Kayla, Tarzan's mom, in Tarzan, the new production coming in for the White Plains Performing Arts Center, and Corey Bossy of New York, who plays Kershaw.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have another member of the Tarzan show cast, and he is a member of the ensemble. His name is Ben David Carlson, who is working towards his equity card here at the White Plains Performing Arts Center and what is equity productions, which counts as points towards your equity card. Explain how that works.
Yes. So if you aren't an equity member, but they still want you for an equity show, you get a thing. You join this thing called EMC, and you get points. And then when I think it's 25 for this show, I'm getting 6. And then I think when you get 25, you can apply for an equity card to become an equity actor.
Terrific. So how far along are you?
Well, this is my first one, so I get 6 points. I have to,
This is
just
you have to
starting.
get those first 6.
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, you say that the ensemble doubles in 2 roles. They are the guerrilla tribe
Yes.
in the first act, and what in the second portion?
And in the first act, they are the guerrilla tribe, I think mainly. We also double as there's a few of us that are I think one of the ensemble members is the mother of Tarzan. And then at one point, a bunch of us become plants and butterflies during when Jane comes. She has this big flora moment, and we're all plants and butterflies. And then in the second act, some of us split off to be part of the expedition crew that comes to study the gorillas. And well, you can see what happens. But
So, what is some of the big songs that the ensemble sings?
mainly we sing any of the big group numbers. You know, we sing Two Worlds, we sing Son of Man. One of my favorite ones is Trashing the Camp, which is that choo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba. You know that one, from the cartoon. It's a great one.
So you're a singer.
Yes. It's gonna be good. Come see it.
Right. Now, what do you like about the show?
My favorite part about the show, it actually is the climbing. I love that we get, not a lot of shows let you be so free with your movement, and being animals, either, someone gets to be the leopard, someone, a bunch of us are gorillas, most of us are gorillas, people get to be butterflies, you get to, move with your body and climb things and swing and fly, and I think that's great, because not a lot of shows do that.
Right, and play the music.
Yeah, oh yeah, I bet it's fun to watch. watch, and you're singing while you're up
So
there.
are you one of the climbers?
Yes,
Swingers?
I'm one of the climbers. Yeah,
You swing across the stage?
I swing around,
All
and
right.
it'll be a lot of fun.
I see. Now I'm with two of the young stars of Tarzan. I have on my immediate left the young man who plays the young Tarzan in Tarzan, the White Plains Performing Arts Center production coming up in December. And he is Max Albert Vivino.
Yes.
Right, who comes to us from the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. And he is a veteran, having played in the Tarzan, the young Tarzan,
Yeah, I was actually this before.
14 times, right?
I did 14 shows.
14 shows. That's right. That's what I meant. 14 shows. Thanks for correcting. That's very good, correcting me like that. And now, on my far left is Kyle Arzaga. Arzaga.
Yeah.
Okay, pardon me. And he goes to the Robert E. Bell School in Chappaqua.
Yeah.
And first things first, I'm a big proponent of education and learning, and I wanted to know how you veteran child actors, young actors, not children, handle the schoolwork and your rehearsals, etc.
I'm actually cyber. I'm school on the computer at my house because of all my things I'm doing in New York and downtown everywhere. That's and that.
Right. And your schoolwork, how do you handle that?
Well, it's not the easiest thing,
Yeah.
but I remember when I did South Pacific, when every time I had a matinee and all that.
At Westchester Broadway Theater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Remember my mom had to tell my school about this, and they're okay with it, a lot of the teachers and all that, but my principal was the one that was kind of iffy about it, you know.
Right.
But I managed to do it, and it turns out that whole quarter, I actually got straight A's that whole quarter. So
Well,
I'll
that's
give it
congratulations, because it's really tough organizing the time commitment,
Yeah.
particularly for shows. And it's tough. Is it? You guys find it tiring working the shows?
No, I actually like working on the shows because in this show we have to fly. So
Yeah.
Oh, so you sail across the stage on a vine, right?
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
Both of you. Now you play the gorilla brother to
Best friend.
Best friend.
Right,
Yeah.
best friend.
We're both
Right.
the outcasts of the group.
Yeah.
Both. I see. You because you're a human and trying to get along with an ape population,
Yeah.
and you are sort of an outcast in the tribe, and you befriend it, right?
Yeah.
That's great. So it's a friendship thing. I never knew that. Now, what do you feel is the most fun about this role, and why do you think kids will enjoy the show? You obviously enjoy doing it.
I think they'll enjoy the show because it's like it's all about all young Tarzan and Tarzan growing up and he finds this girl and he finally finds another human and his mom and his dad is mad at him because his mom found a little baby that's a human.
And dealing with all that. Of course, young Tarzan has to win over Kerchak's well, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
I'm just gonna need a lot of help from this guy over here.
Right. Now, are there any favorite songs that you both do in the show?
Who better than
Who
me?
better than me? Definitely.
Young Turk's main song. That's a really good song.
Yeah.
You play the character Young Turk.
Yeah.
Right. And now, some other things that come to mind about the show. Do you, how is it working with the various actors you met?
Well, I met Kerchak and Kala. I think they're nice. I mean, Kerchak is a mean role, but he's very nice. I like him.
Great, so you've already
nice.
established a rapport.
We didn't meet Tarzan, our older selves yet, Tarzan and Ted.
Yeah, we haven't met him yet.
But I think they're good. I think I'm gonna like them.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, we're speaking to you on the first day of your rehearsals.
We didn't actually go to yesterday's rehearsal
I
or
see.
today's
Okay.
rehearsal because they just wanted old guys. So tomorrow's
The old guys, yeah.
tomorrow's the first rehearsal
Yeah.
for Young
I
Turkey.
see. Okay. Now, Max, do you have you sing opera too?
Yes, I do.
Right, and you want to go onto the stage as a career at
Yes.
your young age of 11? You do? Okay. And how about you, Kyle?
I like acting a lot, and what's it called? It's really fun, and I don't think it would be more of my main career, but what I'm kind of looking towards to is like the movie business, stuff like that. Either
I see.
performing in it or directing. I really enjoy directing and filming, but also, of course, equally love acting and all that stuff.
I see. Well, you speak like a director already. Okay. So listen, you do sing opera. Your mom said you could sing a goodbye opera. You want to try it?
Okay. Right now?
Right now.
Go!